how to pre-sell leads before the sales call, right? There are two ways that we're going to talk about in this particular session. The first is we're talking about creating a 5 to 8 minute program video. Now, this video we'll go in depth about what it is exactly, but this video is meant to explain your program, showcase your success stories, and sort of convince the clients to see you as someone who's of authority and who has done this before, who knows his thing, and sort of eliminate a lot of objections that they might have even before they join the paid sales call, right? So that's the very first thing that we'll be covering. And the second thing is creating a very short, like a simple behind the scenes video on how the app works, or how the online coaching, if in case you're not using the app, then how your online coaching is going to work. Because that is again another objection that we know a lot of people have, that okay, this is online, is it going to be like a Zoom one-on-one session, how is it going to work, and is it really going to help me out or is it not, right? So these are two small videos that we'll be talking about. So let's jump right into the first one, right? So we've created a very simple structure for you guys to follow of how the program video can be, right? This is based on a lot of program videos that we've helped our clients create, and lot of fine tweaking that they have done over the time. We've seen that this structure works really well, and that's why we've even given the exact time frames for each of the things of what is more important and what is not, right? So starting with the first thing, you start with expectation setting, that hey, what you're getting is not a simple fitness program, right? In the first 30 to 40 seconds, you have to establish that what your program is. You should give it a nice name as well, that okay, this specific program is not just like a workout plan for you, or like a trainer coming to you giving you some tips that okay, aaj ye kar lena, kal ye kar lena, kar lena. No, that's not it. It's more about a lifestyle thing which will help them evolve from where they are to the next level in their health and wellness journey, right? And that should be very clear within the first 30 seconds as well. And ideally, that's why I'm saying you should have a name to your program. That's what will make it very easy for you to have something in the lead's mind, that okay, this is what I'm going to be buying into later on after my call is done, right? Which is what you can use in the sales call as well. So here you can talk about multiple different aspects of your program depending on what your program is, but basically make it stand out by highlighting the key USP of this program. All right. Then you will go into the pain point and result format, which is basically what you can expect, what the lead can expect from a results perspective, right? So here you can start with talking about in numbers very quickly, that okay, these many number of people you've helped with the pain points, and then first dive into the pain point, which is, if are you someone like this person, let's say Ramesh, for just random names perspective. Ramesh had this problem, he had severe back pain, this. Then there was this guy Suresh who had another problem, shoulder pain he had, and or maybe this person who had diabetes, right? So you talk about some pain points that some people had, which is what your program is solving, and you give names and a character to it, a character which is a very real character, of course, not a false character, and you will talk about how that person had that thing, and after going through the program, what is the result that they had. So ideally share as many as you can within 3 minutes, right? Don't stretch it more than 3 minutes, but minimum try to keep it at least 2 minutes, right? Now if you have very few success stories, then you can just take on 1 or 2 people and just sort of elongate, but ideally try to fit in more people so it feels like okay, you've helped a lot of people, and try to cover like the depth of a pain point more than like a horizon, right? So not a vertical side, but a depth, like okay, within back pain, what was the key reason, why did he have the back pain, what area was it, a lower back, was it because of posture, was it because of, so you can talk more about that pain point more in depth, so it can be something of connection. And then the other pain point that you share should be on the same vertical but a different depth, right? So that would be the ideal way to go about this second particular point, which is talking about the pain points and the results your past clients have achieved with you, right? Then you will quickly go into your background, and here you shouldn't come across as someone who is, जो as they say in Hindi कि खुद की तारीफ करना या वैसा, it's not like that, right? It's in a very subtle and humble way. You will talk about what you have done in the past and like what your credentials are, how many people you have helped, a very quick background. And 30 seconds is more like the max that we have written here. It should be ideally less than 30 seconds. All right. So, like there's one of my clients, Diego. I'll give you an example. In his video, he's like, ideally you might already know me. He starts like that only. You might already know me since we are already at this point. You might have done some research, but if you haven't, I just work. I'm a chief wellness officer at this bank, and I've had thousands of people with this exact problem. And then he just moves on. He like in his, he has an 8-minute video or so, and he just takes 20 seconds as someone who has tons of success stories, tons of credibility, but he's still not talking about that. He's been on multiple magazine covers and all that. He just adds one line, and then that's it, and he skips. So that's what you have to do on a very high level, talk about it, and not come across as someone who's showing off. Talk about it in a very humble manner about what your background is, so that again to build some credibility after your success. And then in the fourth point is when you will go into the bigger meat of this video, which is the program details of what you talked about in the beginning, the USP, right? Sort of deep diving into that and telling them that how can you, who is watching this video, can achieve the same results, right? So what are the things that we will be going through? Double down on your USP, talk about the peripheral things. Like I remember one of the things that Kush had mentioned on one of the calls was that he has people who very rigorously follow up and ask for what is the meal that they have eaten every single day. Just giving a random example, right? So something like that you talk about, you dive deeper into the USP, what you generally do in the sales call, right? When you're explaining your program, that's what something you can do. But again, keep it not more than 3 minutes. 2 minutes to 3 minutes is the ideal time, is again what we have mentioned. And finally, this is the last part where you can create multiple versions of this, right? So the first obvious CTA would be that, hey, I'll see you on the strategy call, because ideally you would send this video to someone, and we will share other use cases after this as well. But ideally you would share this to someone who has just booked in the call, and this becomes a part of your post-call booking nurture sequence, right? So this will be like, okay, hey, you booked the call, so let me just go through this before you jump on the call with me, right? And that's where the last CTA will be, I'll see you on the strategy call. A variation of that could be, now that you know all about all of this, just respond saying whatever, and I'll send you a link to the strategy call. Now that could be a different situation where the person has not already booked the call, but he's almost at a final stage, and you think he's a semi-qualified lead, and you want to understand the person's intent. So you're asking them to first watch this 5-minute video, and then if they watch it to the end, then they will say that, hey, yes, I've watched it, and then you will share the link. So that's a different CTA. So depending on the circumstance, you can create these quick CTAs and just create different versions of the same video, just with the last 10 seconds changed, right? So that is the overall structure of the program video. Talking about the placement, like I mentioned, what are the situations where you can actually use this this specific video, right? So in the first and the most obvious thing that I already talked about is during the post-call booking nurture sequence. So you already have this PBNS that we call it script with you guys in one of our resources. So you can make it a part of this itself, where you can even use this specific message that, hey, this short 5-minute video, or if it's like a 6-7 minute video, you can mention that this 5-minute video is a must watch before the call to ensure you have information about my system and to make the call as productive as possible for both of us or for yourself, right? Or you can say, please watch this brief 5-minute video before our call. It will give you key information about my system and help us make most of our time together. You can create any 3rd, 4th, 5th version of these 2 messages and add it to your PBNS sequence that you already have. The next part is again something that I mentioned before, which is for semi-qualified leads, right? Like this is when you know that the person probably might not have the best profession, is maybe flaky in the DMs, is responding to you one day later every time, has taken too much time to come to the call booking stage of the DM script. In that case, before sharing the Calendly link itself, you can share this, and you can just be like, hey, I have, because you've already asked them all the questions. Now you can be like, hey, I have asked the questions and everything, and I'd like to share some information about my coaching program, which is designed specially for people like you, and the pain points that you've highlighted. So do you have 5 minutes to watch a video and then let me know what you think? And they say, okay, yes. And you're like, here you go. This is what you, and another variation could be you already asking them, okay, what do you say? That, hey, I have created, I feel like we're a good fit, but you can mention that you have concerns about their intent, right? So I'm just slightly concerned. This is just an example that if you would, actually appreciate my program or want the benefit of my coaching system that I have built. So for that, I've just sent you this I'm just sending you this specific video. Let me know if you have watched it, and then let me know if that seems like a perfect fit for you, and then you again sort of putting it back on them. And this is for some of the leads where you yourself would ideally not be thinking of booking in, right? In that case, you would sort of use of a push strategy that, hey, I think your intent is low, so maybe we're not a good fit, but you can check this video out and do it. So that's another way of putting it for people who have not already booked in a call, right? So, and of course, you can create any third, fourth, fifth version. We would love to hear your versions, and you can share them in our focused batch group. And this is primarily for reactivation for people whom you have talked to before, but maybe they ended up at the last step, right? So these are people who have already become quite cold. So if you haven't shared like some other thing which is more pain point specific, then you can use this for reactivation as well. And you can just mention that, hey, whatever your name is, I hope you're doing great. Over the weekend, my team and I put together this short 5-minute video explaining the entire program. And I thought of you since you had mentioned that you were wanting to learn more to see if this could help you. So would you like me to send that over to you? And if they say yes, then, how it goes. And that's one of the situations you can also use it in. So far, we have covered 3 key situations where you can use this particular video. To summarize, one is after they book the call, one is for slightly unqualified leads or for leads with low intent or who are replying late, for those people, and the third is for people whom you have talked to before and now want to reactivate, right? So in these 3 scenarios, this is a very good way to use this. The best use case is definitely in the post-call booking nurture sequence for high quality leads. It will definitely increase your show up rates, and it will make it very easy for you to sell on the call, where your authority will already be established before the person joins the call itself. Yeah, that's as for about it for the first part of the video, the first video that we were talking about. Coming to the second video, the structure that we've come up with is something like this. So the whole idea of the video is to make them feel that using an app or having an online program is not something complex, right? On the other hand, it is much more relevant and much more easy for you to follow the program because of the existence of the app, right? And that's like one of the objections that we know people have when they're signing up for an online coaching program. So this video will help you exactly demolish that objection before they join the call itself, right? And at times, depending on the situation, you can even share, after the call, once if the lead has brought this objection up during the call, right? And you can be like, okay, I'll talk about that. I'll send that to you if it's not like a big objection or something of that sort. So starting with this, the first part you start with, you again focus on your niche, right? So you will not directly start with, okay, here's the app, here's the demo, like a very boring video, right? Again, show your face here. You will show your face and you will talk about, hey, this app that I'm going to show you in the next 2 to 3 minutes is designed specifically for whatever your niche is, right? So for example, if your niche was for busy professionals, we are exactly busy executives like you and me who do not have time on their hands and who are constantly on the go, who are constantly going from one meeting to another, going from one city to another, and have very little time. This app is exactly for such people. So when you say that, again, it builds their interest and will at least make them sit through the demo which could be boring depending on how you are doing the demo, right? So after that hook that you have got them in, then you will talk about the main key features that you will be sharing and how you will be working with them. You can walk them through how the nutrition interface is going to be, how they can very easily just look at the nutrition plan that you've provided. You can just very easily log what they've eaten. You can talk about the workout. You can talk about the progress tracking, how that's going to work out, and the chat support of that. They will have 24/7 access with you over the chat window. And after that, if you have any additional features, which is like if you're sharing any additional recipes from your side, if you are having any resources in the resource tab, then you can talk about them as well, that hey, we have these also as a part of the app itself. And then give, while ending it, just give a very good conclusion and like a brief explanation about how this is just a one-stop solution. Like once you get in, it's not like you'll have to track your calories somewhere else, look at the workout somewhere else and chat with me on some other app, but be like, you will chat with me here, you will use the app for your workout tracking, nutrition tracking, everything, and you also use the app for learning the workout or learning about the meal plan or the recipe, right? So it's a one-stop shop solution, and there's no other app that you'll be needing while you're working with me in the program. You can add that thing. And finally, you can end with a simple that, I hope you found this app overview helpful, and I'll speak to you soon, which is a very common CTA. Even if you're not going on a call with them, you have done a call, you haven't done a call, it just makes it super easy, because I'll speak to you soon is very generic, like some way or the other. Even if you're speaking on text, it will fit in. If you're speaking on the call afterwards, it will still fit in, right? So this is most useful for people who are using an app. But let's say you're not using an app, right, which could be the case with some of you. You can still talk about how it's more about how the actuals of the program will look like. How is it going to be on a day-to-day basis? Because in the program details video, you will sort of cover what it is and what is the USP and all those things. But this will be more like an implementation thing, where you can probably share screenshots of, let's say if you sending WhatsApp messages of how the progress tracking works, or like a flow chart of the process that, okay, they do this and do that. That's up. I'll leave that up to you, up to your innovation, how you want to this is more about how it works in depth, right? But yes, it's most useful for the app. So I think with that, we, come to a conclusion with of the app structure. Now, going into the app demo video, where you want to place it, again, this for reactivation is one of the things for people who did not close on the sales call. Now, these are the warm leads that you want to reactivate, not the people who are very cold. In that situation, this is someone who has already talked to you on the sales call, like I had mentioned before, and had probably raised this objection and then did not close, right? So you've already explained to him the program, everything. You can just, reactivate them by saying, hey, based on a discussion on whatever day, I thought you'd find this valuable. I've just, made this quick 3 to 5 minute video, depending on the size of our app, that showcases its key features and benefits. It might help to see if it fits your needs, right? Would you like me to send it over? And that's one of the situations where you can use it. And another situation is people who are skeptical. So like I mentioned, when someone mentions in the chat that, hey, online coaching, I was looking for something which is more in person, right? And I think that in person is what will give more results. Online, I don't know if it will give results or not. And for reassurance, you can then plug it in that particular section, which is, hey, I understand your hesitation about online coaching. I've prepared this video about our app, and that showcases how personalized everything is and how impactful remote coaching can be. And it might be able to address some of your concerns. Would you like me to send it? And that's about it, right? And then again, during the post call booking nurture sequence before the sales call, so like we have the PBNS generally laid over for multiple days, especially when people are booking, let's say 3 days in advance or 2 days in advance, right? In that cases, one video you shared before will definitely help them prep up, and then one video you can send, 1 day before the call or like a few hours before the call, that, hey, I have, prepared a quick demo video of our app as well for you to watch before our call. So it can give you a clear understanding of how our system works and will ensure that our discussion is more productive. Something on the similar lines of what we had shared earlier with the first video, the program video. You can make a different version of that and then add it to your PBNS. This is also something that a lot of our clients use. The most common use case for this, with our clients, especially our international clients and people who are doing really like 7 figures, is that they make it compulsory for a person to watch the first program video and then the demo video, and then only can they come on the call. Once they've watched it, then they ask them, okay, now we can get on a call, right? So that's the kind of thing they have. Especially when you have tons of leads, you can use this to hyper qualify your leads, and this will almost guarantee your sales numbers to increase like anything, right? So if you're doing 40% conversions, you can see an increase till 60 to 70%. Of course, that also depends on how you're closing them on the call. But yes, I think these are the main placements of where you can use the first video, which is the program video, where again you will boost up your credibility. You will exactly share the USP about your program, go a bit into the depth of how it's different and what all aspects does the program include, and then ask them to get on the call with you. And then the second video, which is where you're just giving them a very brief demo of the app video, primarily to shatter the objection of does online coaching work, or how is that going to work, and give them a good idea about it. So these are the two main aspects of this.